Just a note before we begin, working on an '05 Ford Explorer, 200,000 miles on it. Make sure you isolate the battery negative, disconnect it. Don't want any power going to anything. Make sure you mark your drive shafts where they meet up with the transfer case and differentials so you can realign them properly. And make sure you support the transmission by the drain pan and some wood if you can, so that it's being held up by something other than the nothing, because the transmission mounts are right there attached to the transfer case. First thing you got to do is remove the skid plate if you have one here. Here's the 2 bolts, hold it on each side. Runs along the bottom of the transfer case. Next you got to remove the rear drive shaft. Not sure if I need to remove all the bolts for it. I'm just going to do the front for now. Hopefully I don't have to take off the whole drive shaft. Then you remove the front drive shaft. Right up here. Now that's where it connects to the transfer case. There's a little piece that stays on. There's the front drive shaft. You have to take it off to get the transfer case because you have to remove the piece from the front differential. Then you remove a breather hose. Up here, there's the tube for it connection. And then you remove the transfer case shift motor plug wires. Right there. There's your shift motor. And then all that should be left is removing the main transmission bolts. Some of them are kind of hard to get to up at the top over here. The main transfer case bolts, there's 2 of them. So if you're working on a 3rd generation Explorer, lucky you. I didn't have much of a walkthrough. Ended up having to remove the rear drive shaft completely. So I had enough room to wiggle the transfer case backwards. I didn't have to remove any of these cross members, fortunately. There's 2 of them that look like they might have been in the way. But yeah, you just wiggle the transfer case out and it comes out. You can do this with the vehicle on the ground. Of course, you might need to jack up the vehicle just a hair to get the transfer case out from underneath of it. I just barely had enough room, didn't really have to jack it or anything. And yeah, most of the bolts can be reached, without turning drive shafts or anything like that. Fortunately, if you got a nice little flexible extension piece that has a joint in it and changes directions. Yeah, so hopefully this helps you guys.